Today I fucked up by giving an homeless girl my room at an hotel. Over the weekend I was staying at a popular UK chain hotel and thought I was going to be there until Sunday night. Well, 1 p.m. comes and I get back to the hotel early from having lunch, and it turns out that they have a strict checkout time of 12 p.m. to get your money back, and I don't really want to stay there all day by myself miles away just for the sake of it. Over in the corner of the hotel lobby was a little lounge area with a sofa and some armchairs. There was a girl who must not have been much older than 18 or so asleep on the sofa, and you could tell from her appearance that she was sleeping rough and had come inside out of the rain. The hotel reception staff walked over to her and were asking her to leave, which I understand, but I felt horrible for her. I followed her out into the car park and offered her my room key if she promised not to trash the room and as long as she checked out on time. She agreed, and so I went on my way, not really thinking much about it other than how she wouldn't have to sleep outside in the rain. I spoke to my brother later on and he informed me that if something bad happened to her in the room then it would be on me, so I was panicked all last night. I tried calling the hotel to tell them of the situation but couldn't get through. Well, they called me this morning and it turns out that she didn't only trash the room, but that she also urinated in the hallway, tried to smash the vending machine, and was in general a disturbance to other guests. The hotel informed me that I'd have to pay for any damage, and the reception lady gave me a very stern lecture about why they don't just give people rooms when they show up like that. Lesson learned. But at least an 18-year-old girl didn't have to sleep outside in the rain and be open to any number of dangerous situations for a night, I suppose. Too long did not read. I was checking out of an hotel early and there was an homeless girl sleeping in the lobby. She was being moved on, so I gave her my room key and let her have the room. She trashed it and now I have to pay for damages. Edit. Thank you so much for the awards, guys. I've never had a big post on Reddit before, so it's hard to keep up, but I appreciate it. LPT. If you need to ask someone to promise not to trash the room, then you should have just hit the brakes right there. Can I borrow your car? Live and learn. Now this is a real post on this sub, rather than XX caught us having sex, so embarrassed lol. Stuff like this happens and people wonder why everybody is so cold to each other. Pretty hard to trust people nowadays. I have a sister with mental illness that lives on the street. A quick glance or talk doesn't always show you who a person is or what they're like. Hope your lesson was learned. This happened once in a hotel I worked at. Guy paid for 3 nights. Stayed 1 and partied with 2 women. Left them stay for the other 2. When housekeeping went in, everything was destroyed. TV, lamps, furniture, bed, everything. He was only charged $1,500 for damages and tried to dispute the charge, saying he wasn't the one who did it. We asked if knew the women who did the damage and he couldn't even give a name. His wife called a few days later wanting an itemized bill of damages and photos to use in her divorce case. That is quite the foo. I'd probably ask for video evidence of what she did in case the hotel are billing you unnecessarily. Today I fucked up by drinking hundreds of ants all summer long. Obligatory not today but last year. So I was the only one in the office who drank cream with their coffee, so they got me a huge cream container with the squirter on top of the lid back in like April. The first couple weeks everything was fine, nothing out of the ordinary. Then for a couple weeks I was quarantined due to contact tracing, and by the time I got back there were only 3 of us left in the office, essential personnel. That's when I noticed the squirter started acting funky, with less and less cream coming out each day. I never bothered checking, so I just continued struggling with the squirter all summer, assuming some dried cream was the cause of the blockage. Months later it seemed to have finally ran out, so I opened the lid to see if there was any left to pour in my coffee. Nope, just hundreds of dead, alive ants squirming around. Dozens of them were stuck in the tube leading into the squirter, thus causing the blockage. Apparently the office cleaner wasn't essential personnel and left some crumbs out near the creamer, leaving ants to get in, and me to consume them for over 4 months. Dr. Last year, unbeknownst to me, hundreds of ants crawled into the creamer bottle at work and I drank them for over 4 months before realizing. Plot twist. Normal coffee no longer tastes the same in Op. Missing that anti-twang, buys an ant farm for their desk. There are roughly 1.5 million ants per human on this planet. If we want to stay the dominant species, everyone needs to do their part. On the bright side, ants are perfectly healthy to eat. Well, that's a surefire way to learn that you need to be checking and maintaining your work equip. Honestly though, it's creamer. Any blockage should be treated like contamination. Nothing good blocks a creamer pump. My only question is, why does cream last 4 months without going bad? How are the new superpowers developing? I recently found 2 dead stink bugs in my coffee maker, so I feel your pain. The coffee tasted normal. Oh well. You're not alone op. Though I ate fruit flies and not ants. I dunno what's worse lol. Today I fucked up by having a wet dream and outing myself to my roommate. Well fuck, this was not the way I wanted to come out. I guess to preface this, I'm very non-heterosexual. I found out I wasn't straight at age 13 and it's been a slow tumble from there. Besides my amazing talent being able to salivate at the sight of dick, I have a bad habit of sleep talking, and like most college students, I sleep 2 feet away from someone else. Anyways, whenever I go to sleep, for the most part I'm not a dreamer. Dunno why, probably too sleep deprived and high most nights. Sometimes I might get glimpses of some vague picture show, but for the most part my nights are pretty boring. This wasn't one of those nights. So let me just say that my brain was really intent on fucking me over, and had the most gourmet film prepared for my slumber. It picked some low-hanging fruit and picked my first crush, who I used to think was hot as shit. It started off guns blazing with some fucking scandalous shit, like fucking fantasy foreplay, absolutely cruel. I guess it's the point for wet dreams to feel unbelievably visceral. But I swear I could feel our bodies press together and myself feel him up. As I got there, I happened to choose the worst fucking moment of my entire lift to start sleep talking, and started moaning. Aside from the fucking audible orgasm I had, I awoke while drunkenly moaning my crush's name. Aside from scrambling to do assess damage, my roommate was looking at me with a fucking look of confusion. It's still pretty warm in my part of the country, so I had a thin bedsheet with a single blanket on me. I was at full mast and there was no hiding that shit. My face turned red as a beet and I wanted to die. Since I really didn't want to have that conversation with him, or anyone for that matter, I just awkwardly made eye contact with him and sank slowly into a bottomless chasm of cringe, hoping an anvil would materialize over my head. Sadly, I also got to see that look of confusion turn into a shit-eating grin, and he's been teasing me all day asking who so-and-so is. Fuck. Just to clarify, we did have that conversation and he's cool with it, but what the fuck, why couldn't I just have died in my sleep instead? LMAO. Too long did not read. My hippocampus debuted its Citizen Kane and I ended up outing myself from pleasure. Hey, at least you didn't moan your roommate's name, right? Elmao, I feel so bad for you. However, it sounds like you had a pretty dope dream, so you win some you lose some, I guess. Why couldn't I have died in my sleep? OMG, I'm sorry for laughing so hard. At least your friend is cool about it. I'm very non-heterosexual, LMAO. Haha, this is hilarious, but your too long did not read. Is gold. Sounds like you have a very cool roomie. Scrambling to do assess damage. Read this as, scrambling to do asses damage. That doesn't sound like a fuck up at all. I mean, yeah, it's embarrassing, but you had a nice dream and you got to be honest with your roommate about your true self and learn he's cool with it. Today I fucked up by accidentally grabbing my friend's ass. So L, 23M, and my friend N, 19F, work at a movie theater. I had just got done taking an order at the concession stand and backed away from the register. I did not realize that N was standing right behind me cleaning the back counter. As I put my hand down, I feel my palm touch something soft. I look back to see what I touched and see my friend's back facing me. And I put 2 and 2 together and realized that I accidentally touched her butt. I felt my eyes almost pop out of their sockets as she slowly turns to look at me. The alarms in my head were going off and my face turns beet red from embarrassment, and I immediately start apologizing to her profusely. Then a shit-eating grin appears on her face and she begins to tease me about what I accidentally did. Her and some of our other friends have also got in on the teasing and have said that there's no way I'm gonna be able to live this down anytime soon. Too long did not read. I accidentally grabbed my friend's ass and have been teased about it ever since. Edit. Fix some grammatical errors. Tell her that if it makes her so giddy you can do it again. This time she has to ask you nicely though. I've worked behind bars all my life and there are a surprising number of times I've been hit in the face by a boob, reached for a glass without looking and grabbed a knee, and hit a coworker in the or face, elbowed a tit. Comes with working in tight spaces. Just don't make a thing of it, apologize, and try to avoid it. Ha ha ha, I did something like this one time. My wife at the time and her sister were in the same place, and look much the same from behind. I embraced the wrong one, tears of joy. When I was in college, me and this girl I had a crush on were playing beer pong. I'm not sure what she actually said. But what I heard was, slap my ass for good luck. So I did. That's not what she said. But she did make the next shot. She begins to tease you. Interested for sure, tears of joy. IDK sounds like she may have liked it to me. Maybe play into it and tease her back, see if you catch a vibe. Brad, is that you? Why are you still calling her a friend when she's obviously a colleague you fancy? In high school, my gay friend used to accidentally hit my chest when we were fucking around and would go, ew boob. Tears of joy, tears of joy. I've had guys accidentally touch me, apologize, and it's always cool. It's when they do it deliberately, without consent, that it's uncomfortable, sleepy.